Okay, ladies and gentlemen, number 6. So now that we've done that even and odd, and we know the difference between an even and odd function, we're going to go back to this idea of graphing in vertex form, and we're just going to make things a little bit more complicated. So graph g of x and then compare it to the graph of f of x equals x squared. So if we think about our vertex form again, we had y equals a x minus h squared plus k, and so far we've dealt with our a value, which makes it skinnier and wider, and we've dealt with our k value, which is going to move it up and down. But now I want you to look at letter a and notice you have a minus 4, but do you also notice that it's inside the parentheses? Which means it's not going to move it up or down, it's actually going to move it left or right. And then do you also remember when we took notes on our vertex form that when it's inside those parentheses and it moves it left and right, it's actually like an opposite movement. So yeah, it says minus 4, which in my mind would initially say, okay, move it left, but this actually goes the opposite direction and it's going to move it to the right 4. So I'm going to take my vertex, which is initially at 0, 0. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and my vertex is going to move right there. Then I'm going to consider my 1/2, which is my a value, which is actually going to make this thing a little bit wider. And we're going to go over 1, just like before. It's positive, so we're still going to go up, but we're going to go up 1/2. So from my vertex, I go over 1, up 1/2, and I go over 1, up 1/2. And then the 1/2 actually makes it a little bit wider. So we're going to go a little bit wider, and we're going to go a little bit wider, and then that is our new parabola. It's been moved to the right 4, and it's a little bit wider than the original function. Next one. G of x equals 2 times x plus 5 squared. So again, inside the parentheses we have a plus 5. Inside the parentheses means we're either going to move left or right, and we move the opposite of what we would think. So I know it says plus 5, which means we're actually going to be moving to the left 5. So I'm going to take my vertex, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then divide my two other points. I'm going to go over 1, and this time up 2. So over 1, up 1, 2, over 1, up 1, 2, and you can kind of pretend where that is. And then we make a parabola. And it's a little bit skinnier than the original one, and it's been moved to the left 5. Next one, we've got a whole lot going on here. So, right there, in parentheses, left and right. Left and right is always opposite of what you think. So instead of moving positive 2, you're actually going to be moving left 2. Now on this one, we also have a plus 3. Plus 3 is outside the parentheses, so that is up and down is exactly what you would think. So plus 3, up 3. So I'm going to take my vertex, I'm going to move it left 2, up 3. 1, 2, 3. There is your new vertex, which is why this is also called vertex form, because you can very easily look at it and say, oh, positive 2, positive 3, which means my vertex is at negative 2, positive 3. It's very easy to look at this form and identify exactly where the vertex is. Then once you have your vertex, over 1, down 2. So over 1, down 2, over 1, down 2, and then you draw your new parabola. Okay, now another thing I want to point out that I see some kids doing, when you graph this, these lines do not go straight down. Okay, I know that my graph is a little deceiving because I'm not great at this, but they do keep getting a little bit wider, a little bit wider, a little bit wider, a little bit wider. Okay, it doesn't just come straight out of there and go straight down. I don't want to see that. A parabola is ever going out and going out. Okay, it doesn't like just go like straight up the whole way. So whatever you're graphing, whether it be skinny, wide, whatever, just keep in mind it does keep getting wider, 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 wider. 3 times x minus 1 squared plus 6. So minus 1, we're going to move to the right 1. Plus 6, up 6. So I'm going to move right 1, up 6. Oh wow, this one's not even going to fit. Then from there, over 1, up 3. So try your best here. Over 1, up 1, 2, 3. Over 1, up 1, 2, 3. And then your parabola will actually be sitting way up here off the graph. Last but not least, g of x equals 1/2 times the quantity x plus 4 squared minus 2. Left 4, down 2. And label these on your paper. Okay, label the transformations, because if I ever tell you to describe the transformation, this is the describing part. Left 4, down 2, that's describing what you're doing. So we're going to go left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 2, 1, 2. Then your a value, over 1, up 1/2. Over 1, up 1/2, over 1, up 1/2, which means our parabola is a little bit wider. And then there's your new parabola.